All right, whenever you're ready, Gina.
Okay. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. It is 9 a.m. on a Thursday morning here, so we're well into the future from Michigan. And thank you for sharing this presentation about experiencing life on campus in Australia at Monash University. My name is Gina Friedman. I am the Senior Development Coordinator for Learning Abroad at Monash University. So my office is the Central Study Abroad office. Monash University recognises that its Australian campuses are located on the unceded lands of the people of the Kulin Nations and pays its respect to their elders past and present. So a little bit about Monash University. We're a very young university, particularly compared to MSU. So we've only been in existence for a little over 60 years and started out with less than 500 students. But now we are one of the largest universities in the world, and we're the largest university in Australia. Being a very young university, we're very progressive. We like to challenge ideas and really push boundaries around education and facilities and learning. So you'll get a really progressive and interesting outlook at Monash. So Monash University, we have a footprint all over the world. We have 9 campuses and locations across 6 different countries. Campus partnerships, we have well over 100 institutional partner universities and almost 85,000 students across our campuses. In terms of our rankings, we are a top 50 university. So our highest ranking was achieved in 2024. We are ranked 42 in the world according to the QS World University Rankings. So you will absolutely get a wonderful quality of education at Monash. In terms of our subject rankings, we play very strongly in a number of areas, but of specific relevance to Broad students is our accounting and finance, and also economics and econometrics are top 50 subjects in the world. If you have an interest in sustainability, we are very strong in that too, ranked at 21st globally for our adherence to the UN Sustainability Development Goals. We do a lot of work in this area in our teaching and also our facilities. So you'll see a highly sustainable campus infrastructure if you come to Monash. So we have 4 locations in Melbourne. So Melbourne, Australia is where Monash is based here. So we're kind of spread out over, this is a bay in Melbourne, and we're mostly on the eastern side of the bay. And I'll be talking to you about our 2 main campuses in Melbourne. Clayton campus is the largest Monash University campus. It's where my office is based. It's about 12 miles from the city of Melbourne. It has 8 of our 10 faculties, including business. You'll find a huge array of different people that are studying and working and integrating in our campus community. A lot of different cultures, nationalities, lifestyles, and religions. This is where our on-campus accommodation is based. You'll also be able to participate in a lot of different activities and festivals all throughout the year. We have a transportation hub based at Clayton campus, so you can get all around the city of Melbourne and beyond. And there's also a link here if you would like to have a look at the experience of 3 students studying abroad at Monash a few years ago. Caulfield campus is our second largest campus, and it's about 6 miles from the city of Melbourne, so a bit closer in than Clayton is. It's a smaller campus. They have 5 faculties, including business. If you wanted to take studies at both Clayton and Caulfield campuses, you can. There's a free shuttle bus that goes back and forth all day long. There's a train station across from the campus, so that can take you anywhere you want to go around metropolitan Melbourne, and lots of different clubs and societies for you to engage in. We also have on offer a campus at Malaysia in Kuala Lumpur. So it's about 11 miles from downtown Kuala Lumpur. They have 8 faculties, including their School of Business. They have the same academic calendar as Monash Australia. All of your studies will be taught in English, but they'll have some really interesting study options with a local context. So being perfectly positioned in Southeast Asia, you've got a great base to travel. It's a really internationalized campus. They have fantastic on-campus accommodation, which has a swimming pool and a gym. It's really affordable and a fun place to study. And there's a link here to have a look at the opportunity to study in Malaysia. So that means you have 2 study options with Monash University in Australia and Malaysia. So our semester schedule is a little bit different than what you have at MSU. So our academic calendar is actually about to start this month. So our academic calendar goes from February to November, and we have 2 semesters, semester 1 and semester 2. You'll have a dedicated orientation session before your study abroad commences. So our next intake that you can apply to is for Monash semester 2, which is your fall classes. Arrival is the 6th of July, 2024, and your exams will conclude on the 15th of November. Each semester of study at Monash has 12 weeks of classes. You'll have a mid-semester break, followed by 1 week of study leave, and then a 3-week exam period. So depending on when you study at Monash, if you come in our semester 1, which is February commencement, you can actually study 100% in semester units, and that can get you back in time for the North American summer. If you're coming to us in semester 2 this year, your Australian student visa will allow you to stay and travel until the end of January. So for us, courses are called units, and the majority of our units are worth 6 Monash credit points, which typically equates to 4 US credits. Normal full-time load at Monash is 24 Monash credit points, so that's typically 4 units. Depending on exactly what you're studying, your units will have maybe 3 to 4 contact hours per week, and this could include lectures, tutorials, seminars, workshops, or labs. Lectures will probably be fairly similar to what you're used to at MSU. They'll be pretty large in nature, but then students will be split up into smaller groups, such as tutorials, to discuss the lecture content. Your assessment may vary, but it could be made up of a written assignment, presentations, quizzes, group works, and you may have an exam at the end of semester. So general business studies at Monash University, we offer this program in our semester 1, as that's February commencement, or our semester 2, which is July commencement. We have a big range of areas of study for you to partake in at Monash. That includes accounting, banking and finance, business law and taxation, actuarial studies, econometrics, analytics and statistics, economics, international business, management, marketing, and sustainability. And so I've linked down the bottom the MSU brochure for business studies at Monash University in Australia. If you are a Broad Honours student, we actually have a special program just for you. This is offered each Monash semester 1, so February commencement. These are high impact units that we offer and intercultural experiences for high performing Honours College students to meet your Honours College requirements. So as part of this, you'll earn 2 H's in a single study abroad semester that have been pre-approved for Broad students. So you will do a pre-semester unit that will be taught intensively prior to Monash semester 1 in February, and then you will do 1 in-semester unit. The rest of your units will be selected from a list of 100% in-semester assessment units at Monash Business School. So this means that when classes finish at the end of May, then you are able to return back to the US if you have an internship or summer school. And I've linked the brochure here for business honours in Australia. Life on campus is really vibrant. We have over 100 clubs and societies for you to join. We have camps and events and student lounges. We have volunteer and career development opportunities. So once you're a Monash student, you have access to all of those types of services. We have full health and wellbeing facilities on campus, including medical centres, pharmacist, a dentist, and counselling. There is a full gym, pool, and recreational sport opportunities. We have a renowned art museum at our Caulfield campus. We have leading academic and recreational libraries on campus. And you'll be based in Melbourne, which is the culture capital of Australia. So you'll have access to wonderful performing arts. But if you don't want to venture too far, you can visit our own performing arts complex on campus, including a theatre, jazz club, and sound gallery. There's lots of cafes and restaurants on campus, including a student-run, not-for-profit, vegan and vegetarian restaurant. Life off campus, you'll be in a major city. So Melbourne has over 5 million people. So you will have access to everything that a local Australian does living here. We have events constantly running out throughout the year, but some of the different ones that you might be able to check out are Food and Wine Festival, the Comedy Festival, our Australian League football games, Fringe Festival, Spring Racing Carnival, and we have just held the Australian Open Tennis Championships. We have theatres and musicals. There's very cool secret little laneways that run throughout our central business district. You've got access to ranges and forests really close by. You've got zoos and wildlife parks. Lots of cafes, restaurants, bars, and markets all throughout Melbourne. And you can also attend National Gallery of Victoria, the Melbourne Museum, and the Australian Centre for the Moving Image. So at Monash, we have guaranteed on-campus accommodation for study abroad students. So most of our students live in our Clayton residential village, which for us are traditional style dorms. We also have a urban community, which is studio apartments. So all accommodation is at Clayton campus, our main campus. There's no accommodation at Caulfield. Residential village is all single person rooms, so you won't have a roommate. You'll have shared bathrooms and kitchens, laundry, and all your amenities are included in your price. So it is a better way to organise your finances for the semester. There's no meal plan. There's an affordable cafe in the residential village complex, but you'll also have access to lots of restaurants and cafes on and nearby off campus. We also have a supermarket near the residence halls. There's a lot of social activities throughout the semester, so it's a really great way to meet people. You won't be with only freshmen. We have a huge range of ages and stages of academic careers living in our on-campus accommodation. So you will be living with students who could be anywhere from their first year through to PhD. You'll get to meet people from different parts of Australia and Melbourne, overseas, students who study abroad like you, but also full degree. So it's a really varied and diverse a cohort of students. It's a very safe and supportive living environment. There's 24/7 assistance from college heads, deputy college heads, residential support assistants, and resident advisors. So they are first aid trained and mental health first aid trained as well. So we will give you instructions on how to apply for on-campus accommodation, but as long as you apply prior to the deadline, you are guaranteed a room on campus. The Monash eligibility criteria, it's important that you also check the MSU eligibility criteria, but in order to be eligible for our programs, you need to be a Broad student. But if you wanted to do the business honours semester at Monash, you also need to be an honours student as well. You need to have completed at least 1 year of your degree by commencement of your study abroad semester. You need to have achieved a minimum 3.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale. And you'll also need to be nominated by the Office of Education Abroad. So some of the fees and costs to consider, tuition fees, please check with the Office of Education Abroad. But some of the other fees that are fixed are the Australian student visa, and I've given some indicative Australian costs here. Overseas student health cover is an Australian government requirement. On-campus accommodation does vary depending on whether you want to live in a refurbished room and have a private bathroom. And then the studio apartments in urban community are more expensive again. There's a general cost of living guide that I've linked here that you can have a bit of a look at. But other types of costs that's important to consider are obviously your airfare to get to Australia, your travel insurance, if that's not included by MSU, your meals, books, entertainment, mobile phone plan, and travel. Now, there is an MSU budget sheet that is a fixed rate across all programs. So just keep that in mind if you wanted to look for current exchange rates to get a better idea of how things are tracking at the moment. There's a number of different currency exchange websites that you can look to give an indication of current prices. In terms of applying, you'll need to check with the Office of Education Abroad about their internal processes. You'll need to apply to them first in order to be nominated to Monash. There's an application deadline coming up for fall 2024, so that's Monash Semester 2, starting in July. So I encourage you to speak to your academic advisors and the Office of Education Abroad as well as Broad if you are interested in coming to Monash in Australia or Malaysia in Semester 2. And those are my contact details. I just wanted to give a bit of an overview of Melbourne itself. So a lot of people may not be overly familiar with Melbourne. We know that people have heard more about Sydney, and we're okay with that. Sydney is a fabulous place to visit, for sure, and we encourage you to travel when you're in Australia. But you're not going to be travellers when you come here. You are going to be residents for a semester. And if you're residing somewhere, you want to have a great place to live, and that is Melbourne. So we've been consistently ranked the world's most livable city. We've dropped a little bit in the last couple of years. Now we're only number 2 in the world, but we're coming back for that number 1 position. And that's based on a number of different factors, including education. Melbourne is a really diverse city. We have lots of different neighbourhoods. It's really quite built up. And so you'll find a highly urbanised metropolitan city. It's got a lot of multiculturalism. It's a great place to come and live, to meet different people. We're the 5th best student city in the world, and we're also the number 1 student city in Australia. So there's lots of different things that you can participate in Melbourne and surrounds. So there's a few different pictures about events, sporting. I know that that students from Michigan State definitely love their sport, and we share that passion too. There's year-round events and festivals happening in and around Melbourne, and it is a fantastic place to see and do different things. So we are a highly multicultural city. We have people from over 200 countries around the world. We have over 5 million people now, and over a third of our residents were born overseas, including me. I am not originally from Australia. Our city has over 2.5 million international visitors each year, so you get a really vibrant and thriving city. We're very much the food capital of Australia as well. We love food, certainly on campus, but all over the city you'll find every type of cuisine that you can possibly think of, and a lot of specialised groceries as well. In terms of health, safety and security, we've been ranked in the top 10 safest cities in the world in 2024. And that's based on several factors, including personal safety, health safety, digital security and infrastructure. So while we would encourage everyone to be mindful of their surroundings, overall, Melbourne is a very safe city to live. It's also really easy to get around. Australian cities tend to have greater transportation networks than you would typically find in US cities. So we've got trains, trams, buses that will take you all over metropolitan Melbourne and even out into regional areas. You'll have a card that you use to get on and off transport. It's really accessible, and we have lots of bike paths. You can hire e-bikes as well, and it's a really safe and easy way to explore. So we hope to see you very soon in Australia, or if you're interested in Malaysia as well, we would love to see you at our campuses. So I'm going to hand it over to Guan Long to speak to you about scholarship opportunities.
Thank you for the comprehensive presentation and information, Gina. Before my part of the presentation, I have 2 fun questions to ask you. First, what do you say to students who are hesitant or are still indecisive about studying in Melbourne, Australia?
First of all, I would say that studying abroad will probably be the best decision that you will make in your university career. It has certainly changed lives and transformed lives. And I've only ever heard of people regretting not studying abroad in their time at university. And so I would encourage any student to go abroad at all if they have the means and opportunity, whether that's to Melbourne or to somewhere else. I would say just do it. Because it is a transformational experience and a highly supported experience as well. If you're hesitant about coming to Melbourne, coming to Australia, I can certainly understand distance and geography and that sense that it really is quite far away. What I would say to that is now is the time to go far, because once you graduate from college and you start working, you won't have these opportunities again. You can't take off work for a month or two and come and explore Australia. And so this is the time to do it. If you come here, you'll base yourself in Melbourne. You can travel all around Australia on weekends over your breaks after your study abroad experience has ended. And it is a great way of experiencing a completely different lifestyle. But it's a nice sort of gentle transition because we are an English-speaking country, and you will find a lot of aspects of life here as quite familiar, but with a bit of an Australian twist, hopefully.
Thank you for the response, Gina. I really resonate with you on the transformative impact of study abroad. What is your favorite thing to do on Monash campus in Melbourne?
My favorite thing on Monash campus, I am a walker. I love to walk and explore. I go for a walk every single day on our campus. We have a big campus and some walking paths. And I love to go and see, we have beautiful nature. Our campus has been specifically designed in a way that there are native plants and flowers and trees all throughout the campus. So our campus will look very different from what you're used to at Michigan State. It is very Australian and very local. And so I just love to walk throughout the campus. The other thing I love to do is we have a lot of events and festivals throughout the year. And sometimes they take place during the day or the evenings or on weekends. I love arts and culture and sport. So attending all of these types of events throughout the year is also another thing that I love to do at Monash campus.
Thank you, Gina, for the wonderful and the rich information you just provided about Monash campus and Australia. So if you are, can you see me screen, Gina, the page I'm sharing?
No, I've stopped sharing, so.
All right, let me share my screen. So if you are with us, the chances are you already know how to find information about Monash University programs with the Broad College of Business. But just in case you find us from YouTube, this is the Broad Education Abroad website. If you can Google Broad Education Abroad, you will see this filter engine, and you can find the Monash program by checking the country filter, Australia and Malaysia. Then you will be able to see the three wonderful programs that Monash has to offer: business studies at Monash University, Australia, business studies at Monash University in Malaysia, and the honors semester program at Monash University. You can apply or explore the program for more information. I do want to emphasize that all semester long programs for the upcoming fall 2024 and spring 2025, the deadline is March 1st. So if you are thinking about Monash, you have about 1 more month to decide. Next, I want to talk briefly about scholarship opportunity in the Broad College. So all the scholarships in the Broad College are need-based. That means I will just leave it like that. So all the scholarships in the Broad College are need-based. That means there is no additional application procedure for you when you are applying for any education abroad programs. You are asked to indicate whether you would like to be considered for scholarship opportunities. And if you check that option, you will be considered automatically for all the needs-based scholarships. However, there are a few additional scholarships that are first come and the first serve. And I want to emphasize that these scholarships do not require a FAFSA account. So we have scholarships for Monash University at Malaysia. So the first 2 students admitted to the program gets $4,000 towards their scholarships. For the honor semester program at Monash University, the first committed students receives $4,000. Scholarships are not stackable. That means if you receive a need-based scholarship, you are not considered for these scholarships. Whichever scholarship amount is the largest, that is the scholarship you will be awarded. Next, I want to highlight this 10,000 scholarships for select education abroad programs. In order to be eligible, you need to be a Broad College student. You do need a FAFSA account for these scholarships, and you need to participate in one of the semester-long programs. The 3 Monash semester-long programs are all eligible for this scholarship. However, we have a few preferences. We award this scholarship, we prioritize rewarding this scholarship to first-generation students and those students who are studying in non-European destinations, and that includes the Monash University programs in Malaysia. And in total, we award 10 of the 10,000 scholarships. That's the end of today's info session. I hope you enjoyed it and are excited to apply for the wonderful programs at Monash University. Go green and go abroad.